That's one of them good ones.
That's the second day in a row, man. I woke up at 7:30 yesterday, and I was like, oh, baby, I got to get up. I got to go. She was like, what do you mean? I said, the market. She's like, it's 7:30 p.m., JD. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let's roll. And I got the recording going. You're recording ready?
Yeah, man, I'm good to go.
All right. Well, welcome tonight, guys. Thank y'all for coming in to the market wrap up with JD and Mo, the Thanksgiving Bonanza Shenanigans edition. No shenanigans, but it's just a Thanksgiving edition. How you doing tonight, bro?
I'm doing great, my brother. How are you?
Great, man. Great. We have a nice crowd there rolling in. You know,
Yeah.
we're getting it started at the 7 o'clock on the dot time, but we'll let them roll in
No,
as we.
no CP time today,
Yeah,
huh?
man, we're gonna stop saying that. That's 2020 is ended that because honestly, CP time now is market time because so many of us in the market, so many diverse faces, families, uh, home units from
Yep.
non-traditional, supposedly traditional layouts. Man, how do you feel about that, man? And what do you feel? Do you feel Robinhood uh, had a hand in some of this?
Um,
I do, man.
you
Not
know,
to
I
say they did it on purpose. Like, hey, we're gonna reach out to all the communities that have been disenfranchised, brother. They weren't going with that, but it the small brokers,
yeah, I think Robin Hood definitely, were the, game changers. They the ones that picked the lock, so to speak, with the no commissions, and basically forced, all the other brokerages to, most of them anyway, to
right?
follow to no commissions. So, I definitely think that that was a major, major, major catalyst for the influx of traders. Um, I think trading itself has a lot to do with it. Guys like you and I, and Jay
Yeah,
Johnson, Jamar James, guys that have been doing it for a good minute, you
right.
know,
Steady
and
for
trying to
them
teach
consistent
people. Yeah.
voices, Jamar and
Hmm.
Jay, and those are the names I remember. And
Hmm.
seeing your market layout every night, things like
Hmm.
that because
Ernest Gaines.
Ernest
Yeah.
Gaines daily,
Yeah.
Latoya Trading,
Yep.
uh, because when I was searching for a community, like you put something out and like, man, who can I talk to? Who can I uh, connect with or sharpen my countenance with, and not have to say
Right.
what you're talking about. And your boy's like, man, I don't really know about these stocks, man. That sounds like gambling, man. Like, and then
I
I go
still
buy a
hear
lottery
people
ticket.
that say that, and but then be right back. Like I need to
Buy,
play
buy,
my numbers and
go
play them
buy
numbers faithfully every week.
buy a lottery ticket or do the fantasy football and pay the money to get in, and pay the. So okay, we're not rambling, but these are things I wanted to talk about. Is that the importance of community, the importance of having a voice, and where people have either walked your path or going a similar path. They don't have to go the same route to get to the same, because there's many tributaries in a river to get back to the ocean,
Yep.
and the ocean is what we're trying to do. Um,
Yep.
I want to talk to you about this, okay, and mention it to everyone. Okay, from a long-term investing perspective, we don't have to all agree on the stock, and we don't have to. It's not a zero sum or a linear path. It could be like, look, hey man, I think the EV sector is going to take off. Cool, me too. Well, hey, I like Blink. Well, hey, I like Neo. You're stupid for not liking Blink. You better get it, or it's shy away from that, and then just cultivate our own individual process. That How do you feel about your own process? And it doesn't have to align with mine, but we can learn from each other.
Man, for me, that touches a special button for me, because I've talked about it before. Like, originally, getting into trading, coming from grad school and getting into investing and studying and learning. I've always wanted to like manage a hedge fund, and
Right.
that's still possible in the future. I still got things in the works, but that was always um my goal. But I also always loved teaching, and so that's kind of how I got into being the trading coach, and getting with Jamar and DCG and having my group. And my whole approach for that group is and I know for yours as well, your mastermind group is like that mastermind principle that everybody kind of brings their own thing. And just like you said with the EV, like the fact that we could say, okay, well, EV is the sector, and then you got two or three people that like this company and can bring these different perspectives, and then two or three people that could bring on this company, and then three people that bring three other companies that
Right.
I didn't even think about those. Like I ain't never seen those before. Let me look into those. Like that camaraderie, that mastermind aspect is exactly this is exactly what I tell my traders when they first get in. That's exactly what these investment banks do. That's exactly what these hedge funds do. That's exactly what these large institutions do, is that they get different people, eccentric people that love what they do, that love looking in these markets. They put them in different groups and say, all right, every morning, get up. What are you looking at today? All right,
Yeah.
that look kind of good. This is what I'm looking at today. All right, what you looking at? I don't know how that's setting up. Maybe you want to look at it this kind of way and wait for this setup. But we're going to get in this together, and you're going to eat, I'm going to eat. And that's how those $1 billion funds continue to make $1 billion. And so, that's the aura that I attempt to emulate with my group, and that I attempt to bring to both the Stock Scouts and DCG, is that whole mastermind concept of
Yeah,
we
man.
all working together, we all putting in a little bit together, and everybody can eat, because it's $2 trillion. It's too much money in this markets for us
Yeah.
not to all be at least millionaires. You know
And
what
to
I
be
mean? So that,
frustrated at somebody for not having the same pick as you. And you said Rick
man,
James
like
had that
this, that's
aura. He
stupid.
had that aura, dog.
That's stupid. If you go into a library, go into a small one, then go into a large one, then go into a Barnes and Nobles, you will see a small size, large section of investment books. You will see a medium size, large section of investment books. And if you go to somewhere big, you'll see a large section
Right.
of investment books. And that goes to show that there's so many different ways to make money in these markets. And so you just got to find which one is yours, how you get to those, and make it you, and stick to it.
Man, well said, man. I'm, let's go ahead and give the shout outs to everybody. I mean, thank you guys for coming. The room is gaining size. I mean, we had Jamar, Sean, Paige, Tony, Larry Williams, my beautiful wife, Lawana Ellaby, Kay Kelly. What's
Hey,
up,
Miss
Kay?
Ella B.
Hey, baby. Jaden. Let's see. Grace. We got Gerald. We got Erica. Yeah, tell your mom I'm not gonna make the broke the old lady stripper joke this weekend. Just I'm on my p's and q's. Uh, Daniel B, Charlene, and Alma. That's all of us in there. So
That's what's up, man.
hey
I'm
man,
always glad that you got your wife to come on. I was telling my wife earlier, I asked her if she wanted to sit through the call. She was like, no. Like, it's just, it's a great
Marsha.
thing for y'all. It's just, it's not her thing. So
Well, I mean,
she's
shoot,
not gonna
and
sit through the call.
that's one of the things about the mastermind. They said that the wife doesn't have to be like
Mm-mm.
lockstep involved, but as long as
Nope. But
we
she
know
know
that
what's
she's
up.
right with us in our
Yep.
support group,
She
that
know what's up.
bam.
Believe that.
Uh, well, look at this, man. Look on this screen, dude. I had not looked at the weekly on Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is trying to sniff a little double top resistance from back when the usher board and deaconesses used to say, y'all need to get that Bitcoin. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember when that happened, man, it was around
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first time I think something it I say 2018, it's showing 2017, but
2017.
that's
Mm-hmm.
the week. But I remember when I started hearing from people that I never hear from about Bitcoin. I told my wife, I said, babe, I'm taking some of this off of the table.
Mm.
She's like, why? I was like, It's just, I got a feeling too many people. It's a weird, they're thinking it's a lottery to where it's going to hit and it's going to end all the devastation and I said that the establishment, there are too many. It's Bitcoin was printing too many multimillionaires quickly in that run up. Not to say that like, hey, we're gonna pull the plug, but there are forces that can pull the when they started making the know your client or know your uh putting all the privacy uh protocols and things in place. But this time is a little different, but I still see we're coming up against a little sniff of resistance, man. I know that's what you guys go a little bit more in depth on DCG with
Yeah,
that.
man. I was gonna say, I got all the info on
Yeah, yeah,
Bitcoin.
I mean, you got the proprietary, keep it to you.
It's setting up almost to the T to what we expected. So, I'm, you
Well,
know,
I do like the basin it made. The base it made and the
yeah,
run up is a little
nice
cleaner.
reverse head and shoulders. Bitcoin is definitely in a different space now than it was in 2017. Now we actually do have, I mean, in 2017, I think I need to post it. My favorite post in the last like couple weeks that I've seen, I need to repost it. It's this post, I don't know who it was, but they posted it, I think, on Twitter, where they put JPM's market cap was like 349 billion. Bitcoin's market cap was 350 billion. And they
Beautiful.
said, checkmate, Jamie Dimon, checkmate. it's the best one I've seen.
I
But
love it.
that just goes to show that, back in 2017, it was a scam. It was nothing to be looked at. It was nothing to be, what I'm saying? Like,
My
it's gonna
mentor
fizzle
dropped me,
out.
man, behind that.
Hey, look,
Brother
man,
dropped
don't
me.
worry. That's what they were talking about in 2017. And now we actually, like, when you actually get into the blockchain space, you get into, I mean, like Bitcoin, that we're not even considering Ethereum, ERC20 tokens,
Right.
decentralized finance, NFTs. Like,
Little
there's so
Monero here
many
and there,
levels
Zcash.
of
What?
crypto that has billions of dollars, in it right now, that's continuing to develop and continuing to get stronger. So, like, bitcoin Bitcoin gonna blow through 20,000. It might not do it in the next couple days. We might have a pullback. We might have a little shakeout to shake out some weak hands.
It's
But
gonna some
believe
fumbles
you
gonna happen.
me, before the end of this year, yeah, we may see 30.
Well,
And
man,
before 2021,
I put it like
believe
this.
that.
I'm through with the price projections because everybody wants it. I'm just
Yep.
like, if you believe in that, okay. Let's dive a little bit closer into the game plan. Time horizon, investment time horizon. It needs to also come into play in crypto. Whether it's okay, everybody's looking at the white paper. I need to know what these guys' roadmaps are. So when you're doing your research in crypto, there are a lot of steps you're doing, not to have a crypto
Hmm.
talk, but there's due
Hmm.
diligence and there's a
Hmm.
level of diligence that we can do. And think about crypto, you can get in, you can get close enough to smell the developers, the guys who are working on this thing, they open APIs, and so I know what they're working on. You can check, basically I can check the work and check it twice if that's what you do. And if your children are into computers, like my son is, whether we're
Like
looking
mine
at,
is.
yeah, exactly,
Well,
Roblox
he's
and
into gaming.
well, I mean that's computers.
Hmm.
He's into the guts of it and
Yeah.
building and coding. So that's the new world. Um,
Yeah.
I want to talk about
I
this,
think
man.
some guys wrote a couple reports about this stuff and like some guidelines. I can't remember what their
I
names
think I
were,
think
but
y'all in. I think there was
um,
some brother has a beard from Atlanta and a couple of other brothers that meet up. Oh, you throwing it in there? Oh, Larry Williams hopped in there too, man. What's up,
what's
Daniel
going
B?
on?
Build something, Daniel,
But yeah,
and
man.
Selena. Um, Market
Hey,
prep, Mo.
Selena.
Market
Sorry.
prep is what, and I know you're big on
Yeah.
this. I'm going on 3 weeks right now. I had to rededicate my routine since the baseball season ended. Um, my prep, my routine, because I can get up and hit a baseball like I want to whenever, but when I'm really in a rhythm, I'm gonna get up, BP, stretch, get loose, look at my swing, step back, visualize a little bit more, plan, have a process in place, and replicate it. Now that season's ended, my 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 market routine, and I thank you for always seeing your Tuesday night class. You always talk about charts for breakfast. I've always believed in charts and studying and getting a routine, but this the past 3 weeks, man, it's like back to a routine of wake. And I think uh, hearing Jamar talk about routine, uh, I get my routine, get up, but it's the night before or the weekend, like that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where I lay out and check my weekly charts and say, okay, are things still in play? What's still in play? Go down that list, checklist, and I started going. I like it's nothing but pristine charts and perfect setups for me coming from this point in time. And if and I would see the times that I lost money or had to cut my losses. It was either I didn't cut my loss soon enough within my businessman's risk, where I said, okay, I'm willing to risk $300 on this trade, and if it got past me, I would say, oh man, it's coming back. That whole thing to where, but when I put it in there and put it in writing from the standpoint of having a hard stop, I had, it was a wrap. I was like, I either get taken out or my trade comes into play. The How big are you on routine? And I mean, like the night before, because I know the answer, dude. I know the answer, but I want you to share this with the group, because I would call this dude. I say, man, what you been doing? I've been reading about 3 hours. I was like, damn, Mo, again, and he would fund manager, charts, IBD, new article, and robust ideas, and two heads equal three, you know. So go ahead, man. I'm tossing it back to you, Jordan.
Nah, it's all good, man. It's weird. Like, yeah, I do read a lot, and I I wasn't always like that, but I'm more like that now. It's I don't know if it's no, it's not an autobiography, but a biography book of Warren Buffett that I have, and talked about, he all he did was sit in his office and read.
Right.
But and I'm like turning into that, but it's I mean, like, really, it's kind of out of learning myself, like, and learning myself trading, like, I don't do, where I lose money when I sit in front of the markets and, sit in front of the charts and, like, try to day trade or try to, make a swing, a couple hours or something like that, and then try, like, I don't, and then also, I lose money when I just, even for a swing trade, to jump into a stock that I haven't researched, and just, one area of the chart look good, so I just jump in there. So, it's really, learning myself, just taking time to step back. I noticed that when I follow, my principles, when I follow the alligator, when I follow, my trading plan, and, I wait and I look for those opportunities, on entries, and let them play out for, 2 3 days, maybe a week, depending on the trade. That's when I make my most money. When I take the time to, read and research and, learn about, different things, and not just like what trade I'm in, but like, what's the next trade? That's why I read a lot. Like, what's the next thing? What's coming
Mm-hmm.
next month? What's going to be the thing next month? And how are those charts setting up? That's going to let me know that, all right, I've been talking about this one. I posted it 2 weeks ago. Now it's starting to flop. Like, that's how, I mean, and I just been, my time reading. But as far as, like, routines are everything. And you're right, it's the night before. I stay up late, but I also try to get up early. It's interesting, I made a post today, and like how I'm really, starting to approach, the markets. One thing that I definitely do, that I'm definitely, been making it a routine and continuing to make it a routine, is that the first thing when I wake up, I really give it to me, meaning that, I spend my time, my first few, hour, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
hour or so in the morning, filling myself with good stuff. I listen to some motivating music, or
AP and
I
Envy.
listen
Okay.
to some I listen to some Jim Rohn. I listen to one of our morning motivations from DCG. I listen to something that's motivational, something that's inspirational, something that is going to fill me with good before I hit the market, before I start getting on Facebook and posting to people, before I start taking in, things from, members in my group or stuff like that. Like I want to be able to feel myself and let myself know that I'm going into this world strong. I'm ready. I'm strong. And I made this post like, how I come in the market, like the party don't start till I get there. So
Gotcha.
it don't matter. It don't matter if, I wake up at 9:27 or if I wake up at 6:45, you know what I mean? It don't matter if I can't get to the market till 2 p.m. Like the party don't start till I get there. So I'm gonna kill the market and it's gonna do what it do because that's what it do. But it's gonna start when I get there. So I just it don't help me with every trade, but when I take my time, when I research, just continuing, day after day, approaching, the market or approaching my research like that, month after month, week after week, write my reports, going through those different
Yeah.
routines, man. Like, yeah, it's definitely making me solid in what I do.
Well,
Word.
man, I put it like that: the way your routine, and we all don't have to have the same routine, but it's what our DNA, what our blueprint is, what our fingerprints are, my rhythm. Like one of the things that I've tried to get. I mean, I've always journaled, keep track, and I can look back. I can, like I always talk about. I can look back to when from the movie The Big Short. Anytime they would give a date, I can look in my journal and see what I traded that day, what I did, mistakes, or if I was hitting. This I put something on the screen. AU Anglo Gold, right? Anglo Ashanti Gold. I don't know if you remember that. I was all frustrated one day. I was watching it. It's a South African gold miner, and I was like, man, that's a crap name, man. And I was like, I was talking to my wife. I said, what the hell, Anglo Gold Ashanti, baby, you see this? And I said, let me pull up the chart, and I saw a head and shoulder. I mean the head and shoulders layout. It was back. I mean, August, September, and I was the setup is right, uh, right around this time. I was like, okay, let me go short on this, and I took a quick short. And if you see the tails, I didn't have it planned out, so I got in, and the one of the tails popped up and took me out. But it was still going down. It and it would test up and it would go down, and I was like, I know I'm reading this right. I'm reading this right, but I wouldn't. But the thing about it, I didn't have a time horizon. I hadn't researched how the rhythm of this stock moved. I had never seen the stock, but I put money into my thesis without a robust research plan. All I knew is I saw a dude over in South Africa sitting in a chair, and some folks had some issues with them, and I was like in the chart saying short them. And when I stopped messing with it is when I backed away, and it started to go into a trading range, and I put my book away. I didn't because how long do you stick with, like, let's say you see a setup and it might be a new issue. It's not a Microsoft and AMD, because every so often you give me those call outs to where like, hey man, check Dollar General, JD. You remember? I was like, Dollar General. So I don't even go in there, man. I'm gonna get my feet dirty, dog. And
Dollar General went straight up for
man,
like three
Dollar
months.
Dollar General was. I was like, oh, Mo. Mo's like, man, I'm telling you, man. And you had, but it wasn't just a ticker. You had the background to the reasoning why of that subsector would
I
hit
have been
around that
watching
time.
5 of those stocks for like 2 months, so
And
I saw it coming.
okay, that's why I think it's amazing to where you and I met each other on the level, man. We came like I would come, and I King Steph and Larry the same way, where we would just,
Shout out to
and
Steph.
Monty, we would chop it up,
Shout out to Money.
and we would pass along ideas, but we weren't thinking about like, hey man, I didn't come in and just say, hey man, show me how to do that, show me how to do that. It was like we were kind of feeling each other out and things like that. And with me, With this one was a hasty trade. If I had laid it out properly, I would have been in August and had a payout
Mm-hmm.
by November because I could have traded in the trading range. It never broke back above the initial neckline of the head and shoulders. Then we had a nested head and shoulders that it just broke down, and it
Mm-hmm.
never broke above the true neckline. And if I had paid attention and stuck with it, I would have been like, yeah, man, that sucker was sitting in that chair talking about Anglo, and I got paid off of him, things like that. And we had a one, and Larry Williams right here, we had the 1-to-1 move right there. And if I want to go back even further, so I'm saying that to say, if we have our market prep, we identify potentials of a basket of stocks. And it doesn't have to be 5,000. It could be five stocks that we steadily go back and forth through. And you realize, like, you know what? I don't have a good feel for trading Apple. Let me look at another one. Or I like the chip sector. I'm gonna buy and hold AMD because it's a cheaper version of Nvidia, and they kind of trend together. I can't get into shares of Nvidia, but I can get some shares of AMD at $3.46. Shout out to my daughter and son. They still in. And anyway, um, that that game plan, and then we can. It doesn't have to be the most intricate. I don't think. From okay, now from a long term perspective, like if people want to enter the market and do a little research, and you always talk about what you know, Peter Lynch, know your why, by what you know. So we can cultivate it over time and discipline. Um, I'm I'm a free spirit, man. When it comes to just saying what I want to say, you don't tell me what to do, blah blah blah. So
I'm a
that's
Gemini, bro. So I'm bred that
it goes
way.
against having parameters. Goes against
what
my
what limits?
so I had to adjust the idea on the limits, but I needed to have be within due bounds of my game plan that fits my personality. In the past 3 weeks, man, I focused in on those trades, and this, I was in the right trading room. I like to trade alone too. If it's going to be a whole lot of chit chatting and telling blah blah blah, I don't need to hear that. But when you have the right iron sparks flying,
Mhm.
I think that is priceless. What are your thoughts on that, man? Because I think it's a lot of money out there being ready to print every
Man,
day.
it's man, and research shows we are coming into the best uh parts of the year for the stock market. So I mean, you right on with that. And then we talked about having the group aspect, and having the different mastermind to pull ideas from. So I mean, I think it is what it is, man. The more people and the more eyes, the more passion, the more research, the more money. I mean,
I'm gonna do it
it's
like
nice.
TA. What you say, Mo? You say is the more money out there, baby. Right? Okay, okay. Yeah. So let me
And
ask you
it's
this.
not
When you
hard. That's what's a trip. Like, I mean, like, folks like I think you and I that did the learning curve on our own. You know what I'm saying? We read every all
mm,
these different book, man. I got a list of 200, 300 books, man. Like, look, I mean, went through everything though to
mm,
learn all of these different aspects and styles, and then test them out, lose money to figure out which ones is right. Like, those that went through the learning curve, like we paid the dues, but it's like it's easy now for a lot of people to really get it. And I mean, even for us that went through that, like we can see like it's easy now. It's
mm-hmm.
easy. And for those that are able to take advantage of, the different coaching and the different groups, and are able to, really put together a plan and take it like a business, we'll see that it's easy. Like it's easy. Why work?
Right,
I'll
right.
put a post in my group like who working? Like, if you are, man, this should be motivation. Like, you know, you shouldn't be working at all unless you essential. Not tomorrow.
Well, thank y'all for being, if you are out there in the front lines, thank you very much for that, for putting
Salute.
yourself
I
at
mean,
risk.
for
And also
real.
the brothers and sisters who are, overseas or in the military. Thank you for that. So I want to get to one thing, man. Well,
Hmm.
okay, we have some questions about SPACs. SBE is
Yeah.
one that has been printing, and I sold out short, not short, but I cut profits to move into something else. But there's one thing I want to talk about. Back in like June, uh, this is before Tesla readjusted, price adjusted. But there was a breakout. Let me go in here to the charts. June 2020, I was watching Tesla like a hawk because I was like, Tesla is going to be it's going to be the retirement vehicle that I'm looking at, that because there's a way, the way that thing pops, the way it channels, the volatility, and the way it moves within rhythm and a catalyst. It could be SpaceX. It could be Musk coming on TV. It could be the reporting, being the inefficient markets by having Tesla listed solely as an automotive company and only looking at it through that lens and not realizing that it's so much more. Uh, I said,
It's more of an energy company than it is an
it,
automotive company, but
and then it could be the
people put it.
disruptive technology company within that
Yep.
energy field. And
Yep.
then, so back in June, I know I was always talking about it, and you could see little stair steps, little. And I said, you know what? And it was hitting a flat top. Let me zoom in. June 11th. Yeah, it hit a flat top, little area, and where when it did that, I was watching it. And I was like, baby, I said Tesla's gonna bust out because it wasn't. It was a tight trading range within the same little area. Not a lot of big long candles like where you would expect from a volatile company. And that's when I hit it for like a few thousand before my baby girl graduated. And I was like, I'm gonna do this every day. I'm gonna do this every day. And I then I hit it and again, and I was like, you know what? Some folks are gonna retire. There's only a select few stocks that are gonna move like this. And when they went to the space station that first time, and people took the play on Virgin Galactic because it was SPCE and it was SpaceX going, and it kind of, I mean, Virgin still hit, but there's so many different catalysts that can make this thing pop. So I got the money out of that. Then I made a few losses, but what I backed away, and that's when we dove more into trading and getting the plan right. But guys, right now, okay, might have been 6 months ago, Mo, when you were talking about you mentioned, you floated it out there about Tesla being included in the S&P. Remember that? And
And this was months ago.
yeah, you mentioned that,
Months ago.
and I was like, I was listening, and I did not realize the significance of that at the time, to where when you are added to the S&P, how fund managers have to make a
They
decision
have to.
to purchase and participate in your, as either, it's not, they can't short it. They either have to put those, allocate those funds at work or back away. And who's going to be the S&P 499? My wife calls it the S&P 499 until Tesla gets
In
in there.
Tesla, right? But that's basically what it's gonna be. S&P 499 in Tesla.
And the breakout. So what I'm saying, there is a super move that has just happened. Um, and I said, you know what? I took my money out of my pension, and I said, I'm getting, when in Tesla did the split, and I said, okay, it brought me into a position where I could gather as many shares as possible for the money, even though it was the same, price adjusted. I wanted to have more shares. I grabbed shares of that at like 411, 414, give or take. And then I said, I'm gonna trade around that core position. And I said, this is gonna be the retirement play, or the first steps of a retirement play. And that was like September. And I watched it, ran up, traded a couple of times, and I said, okay, I can't lose money, but I have a good core position, and it was running up and it was building a good base. So I tracked it, and as we go in further, man, and I'm leading to a point, guys, um, leading to a point, because when we there's going to be a time when we notice a potential setup. And the only other times I've done this are when I spotted something in Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns around the same time those brothers in The Big Short did, but I didn't a lot, I didn't throw the same amount of capital at that, and I didn't realize that the once in a 20-year move that I was seeing. But I know I was shorting those boys every day. Tesla was trending in the trading range, and I said, I saw the channel. I mean, my channel's not drawn properly right now, but when I saw it, I was like, okay, I can't buy at the top, can't short it. I never short Tesla, so I said I'm gonna buy at the bottom. And I noticed about my RSI, and I was really timing that RSI to like, okay, let me just get the rhythm of this. I want to call it the MF. I said, let me get the rhythm of this thing, and when I catch that rhythm, I'm gonna saddle up. I caught the rhythm, and I made a nice move right here on the November 3rd. Ran to the top and then had a quick retest at the bottom of that channel. And I said, okay, I'm not, I didn't hit it. It wasn't it. Bottom of the channel. And I was looking for a test of a new high on November 16th. I wanted to get the next high of 412.45. So anytime it opened that next day, I was already in, and it popped at the top of the channel. I said, you know what, do I take? I'm gonna take a little profit, but if it breaks above this high, because it was at the top of the channel, so a lot of times it was going down. But if it breaks out, it's off to the races. And it broke above it on the 17th, and I went in hard, and there were people putting YouTube videos out, and it fell in line with the S&P 500 play because everybody was like the the battery day was a big thing, the big disappointment where everything sold off. But that's where we predictive analytics, where we're like, okay, I'm going long battery day, but there was no setup or trigger. It was just euphoria. So everybody bought the rumor, sold the news. This is similar to it. The run up leading into December 21st is on a historic run right now, guys, and it's printing money. Now we're extended, but like I always say on my layout, we can remain in overbought status for an extended period. So, but be cautious of going in at once it's extended. But if it runs and it shows a certain level, or if the pullback is is a short pullback, it could still run. But I was just showing you like to where if we see a setup in a highly volatile stock, there's a mover, there's a market disruptor and a leader, and we have the funds to move into it, and you have your edge in place and your trading plan. It's no reason to talk about it in the group. Said I told y'all it was gonna go to that, and you're like, dude, did you hop in? Nah, man, I was I was in forward, some forward 3 cents out, 3 cent out of the money front month calls, and they expire worthless. But hey, I knew Tesla. If you know it, you got to put skin in the game. Jesse Livermore says the only way I could tell somebody, give somebody a tip, is by showing them myself with money that I put at stake at risk. Because everything we do is we're putting money at risk to see if our thesis has validity.
That's correct. Yep.
That's and I'm gonna toss it back to you, man, with that, because I know you have layouts and you'll sit and watch your stock for you'll track it for a couple of weeks and roll. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that, man? On seeing the setup and and following through?
I mean, it take practice to,
Yeah,
you know, get there, and that's also why I have, what in DCG we call our morning formula. It helps with the consistent confidence to be able to press the button when I need to press the button, because a lot of times, you know, y- folks will look at this chart and
tell
want to
me
try to
about it.
get in now. You know what I mean? No, either or.
Yeah,
They look at this chart and want to try to get in now. Like they see it up, and it's gone up. All right, well, it's going, so let's get in. Like, nah, you gotta find, the spot way back before. Yeah, right
hmm
there. My positions, I like to get in right there. And what do I need to find out about that company? And how long do I need to wait for it to get to that positions? What signs do I need to
identifiable.
look for? that is going to let me know if it's going to break up or break down. Um, and it take patience, but patience do what it do.
This this SRAC, I think Sean asked about it. I love this chart. The move has happened. The move has
Yeah.
happened, man. It's I can do a stripper joke real quick. Okay. Uh, it looks it's PG. It looks
Hopefully
like
we don't have grandmas on
yeah.
here.
Erica said her mom was like she laughed a little bit. But look, man, it looks like those bags that they carry when they walk, like, or the airline stewardess is like, you put your
Mhm,
clothes in here, had the little pulley thing. You walking through the airport and you pull it, you tug it. Well, they're gone. The flight is gone. The plane is taken off. Whether it's a cup and handle, whatever it is.
mhm.
This
Which
was
pretty much
a
that's what it looked like.
a robust move, and
Mhm,
this is the bullish of most bullish engulfing.
mhm.
Even though this is now so, but with the SPACs, Mo, please address the crowd. The SPAC situation. Most of the time we're not going to get a good chart because they're banking on that
I was just
merger.
looking at a couple of these too. I was looking at all of them that they posted in the group. The
They
VGAC, ain't nothing I could tell you about that one. There ain't enough information on it.
they're banking on a merger. So if you, it's going to come down to your personal game plan. Like, you know what, I believe in this manager, I believe in this particular area of interest, and all the research that you can do, and the timing is going to be key because I don't know when the mergers are going to occur, and I don't want to, I can't trade them, even though SBE was one that actually laid out, but it was all dependent upon um,
Yeah, it's parabolic, man.
the most parabolic of parabolics, man, and it's ready for but I say it's ready for a pullback, but I can't come in and short it because I don't know. They might come up and the merger is going to be Monday, or and something
It
else
still
happens.
can't go up forever.
It's going to come
It
down, but I'm
still
not
can't
I'm
go up
not
forever.
shorting it until I get some rhythm. I'll saddle up once it starts moving down.
I got a couple things about this. Like, okay, so just even looking at this chart, like when you see this chart, like, you know, if we look at any chart over a extended period of time, that chart, especially if it's an uptrend, is going to generally have a 45-degree angle,
Right.
to the upside. It's going, that's what a textbook, uptrend long term is going to be. Like all of the other stuff is, and that, I mean, that's a good uptrend. We might even need to make that 30,
Yeah,
uh
because I'm
35,
looking at
something like that.
that's
So
44 degrees from the bottom down there, right there. So we can
and I
go.
mean, that's a really good uptrend. So when you think about like how this stock is moving, like always think in, well, I mean, how I think is into the future. Like is going to average along one of those lines in the future. So if it's so far up, like it's going to come down in order to average out over time a, large return. SPACs, and I mean that's just like on that chart. But SPACs in general, SPACs are just interesting to me. I'm, not a get in, get out trader. They are exciting. That's why people get in, but they to me are akin to IPOs. They akin to new companies. Like allow them to prove themselves, and especially with these SPACs, like the idea that came to me when I was like earlier on the call, just thinking about the SPACs. The SPACs are like, first, like what they are. They are just another way for a company to IPO. So a new company that's private can get to the market by being purchased by a company that's already on the market and already has a ticker, but it's pretty dormant. It doesn't really do anything, but it's registered with the SEC. It's already there. So this company can purchase this other small company. And now this small company that's actually doing something is now a public company and their shares could be traded. That's all a SPAC is. So
Hmm.
like these are all just brand new companies, new IPOs. They're just wrapping it around in the word SPAC. And what concerns me about this is like now, SPACs are also, synonymous with the electric vehicle sector. Like if you think spec, you're gonna think EVs because that's all the companies that's pretty much using this vehicle to do this. So like, and now it's becoming a bum rush of them coming on. So the analogy that I think about is like, y'all remember last year, maybe the year before last, when those fidget spinners was like popping like
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. And it would like, first it started out like you could just go to Toys R Us or something to get, the fidget spinner. Then like next thing you know, 2 months later, like the gas stations got fidget spinners now. You get little fidget spinners at the get like I'm kind of thinking we might be getting to that point with these specs, is that everybody and their mama that might have an idea, because this is the hot thing right now, is getting in. So I mean, just for me personally, I see them just like new companies. I want them to prove themselves. And a lot of the charts that you brought up are, new companies, or as you can see, like that's why that you can see a lot of them, the price line is dormant for a long time, and then it shoots up because the
Mm-hmm.
company wasn't doing nothing. Like it has no identifiable price history in order to
Perfect.
kind of get a idea of what investors think of this company and the investors that actually move the price of this company. So for me, it just need to prove itself a little bit more. I was just thinking like EVs. I know a lot of people that are making good money on EVs. Shout out to y'all. Great thing. I'll probably be on them in 2022, maybe.
Yeah.
By then they'll probably be leveled out. I see what companies is what, who popping, and as they grow, as they move into actual growth mode,
Okay.
I'll move
Uh,
my chess pieces.
with the SPACs, I, I can't trade something that doesn't have a pattern that I could pick up,
That's
or a
just it.
pattern that
It's no
this
pass.
I can't, and it's all speculative, predictive analytics with very little history. So you got the new girl in town in a small town, man, and she just shows up that
I
summer.
was just about to say, we got all these ladies on here. Y'all met a dude and y'all go check his Facebook, and he only got pictures and photos up from last
2019.
June. I was, what I'm saying, 29. Like that's it. Like, bruh, and you know what I mean. Like, so yeah, it's shady. I mean, not shady, but you got to prove yourself.
It's
That's just what it
riskier.
is.
So now, if you okay, on the on the other side, if you really are checking for that sector, SPACs or whatever, there is argument to say, well, I'm first to the beach. Then if you believe, like, I know Brian Dillard, he believed wholeheartedly in plug and the hydrogen sector, and he's been in plug forever. A lot of people believed in neo. I think Larry, probably quite a few people were in there at $3-4, so there was but it wasn't that just, hey, I'm hopping into a SPAC. It was like they had the research down on why it's a disruptive technology, first to market, or whatever, or the one that's most effective. So there, and the time horizon was like, look, every time I asked somebody about it, like, I'm looking 10 years down the road for this. So the
Mhm.
time horizon was established. So there was no emotional tie to short term price fluctuations, ebbs and flows twice in 24 hours or whatever. And uh, I think that, okay, the next thing, guys, I'm
Wait,
looking at.
real quick, before you go to Baba, I do want to say on the EVs though, I did look at all those charts. Out of all of them, Flux looked the best. I looked at it on the weekly chart. It's not bad. It could be setting up for another move. Should you be looking to make a move in any of those stocks, Flux may be bottoming out and ready to push back up. So we'll see.
And guys, just think about it. I would try to give yourself enough a window for, because there's some big swings in those EVs, man. So you might get in at the top of a channel that has not even established itself, or a trading range. You get in, you buy, and it's a bull trap, and people are selling off or taking profit. The or the lockup period is coming to play. The merger happens, and people, they cut their shares and go,
Yep,
and then you're
that has
like,
happened a couple times too.
and then people buy it back after you leave, and you drop the bag, and there's people down there at the bottom that caught it as well. So The next thing I want to talk about, I'm not going to keep everybody all long tonight with us. Uh, Chinese ADRs. Be
Mm.
careful. There's a chance because this administration is going to, I'm sure, going to have a more diplomatic approach to trade with China, and so there's going to be possibly room for relationship mending and building, and TikTok issues and things like that. But there's still going to be some turbulence, and as the current regime or administration leaves, they could drop bombshells on anything that has to do with that could affect our market. So, and I know Larry Williams posted something about um, Israel is preparing for a U.S. strike against Iran. I, I mean, it might not affect. It's going to affect lives, human lives, let alone the market. So, if anything, there was news about issues in China, and I was just thinking like, okay, we're gonna like Baba and JD.com, but it says Chinese right here. Here's the headline: China tech companies to remain very much growth play even post COVID, says Credit Suisse or Suisse. But anytime I see that, there's also something on the other side that we need to just be prepared for. So um, play the charts out because I mean, Baba, I wanted to get in right here on that reversal, and I waited because I was concerned about any news popping out because that's a bear trend right there. I mean, guys, we trade the hard right edge, and when I say the hard right edge, that means we don't know what's to the right. We have to look to the left to see what's happening. And if I'm on the screen and I look over to the right and I see that doesn't look like I'm gonna say, hey, let's go long right here. That does not look like I'm going long. And if I get that next day, okay, it's poking its head up, but it's still bearish. I want to have some confirmation. I don't have volume on my chart, but volume is key for me to know when volume comes into a play. We pay attention, but we have Mona. I draw out, guys, candlestick patterns, trend lines, support and resistance. They all, people might not understand it, but they all play a key role. And
Hmm.
no matter, it doesn't matter what edge or style you have in trading. Whether it's Elliott waves, whether it's just basic support and resistance, or tape reading, or whatever. They fall in. There's a place for it, and we need to know basic support and resistance. And
Yeah.
that's you know that's it, man. I want to focus on. I'm gonna throw it back to you more. I just wanted to focus on journaling, and I added to my little in my journal. One thing I wanted to add was like I put in there. I was anxious overnight. This is because I've been doing that Tesla trade, for some time, and I decided. I said, look, there's a chance. I could partially prepare for a retirement off this move. So I put my money where my mouth was, and I was trading within. I was like the long term. I have some. Okay, I'll call it out. I have the January 16th $600 calls. I cashed out of one of them today for a few thousand. Uh, but I, dude, I'm like, if it's gonna hit me, it's gonna hit me. But it's not going. I'm in profit, and so I'm not going to zero. I know some of the guys are putting it in their YouTube page that or videos like there's risk inherent in options. So these options may expire worthless. I was thinking like they might expire worthless on your watch, Playboy. But if I'm in profit, I'm locking in some level of profit as we move forward to where it'll come back and it might take me out with $14 profit, but it's not going to be zero. I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to. I'll get my original investment plus that's what I look for. So I'm journaling how I feel when I put more money at risk because I position sized up. That was the next move to try to get to another level is increase my contracts because
Yep.
I'm a one or two contract dude.
Yep.
Uh, one contract if it's a real high flyer, but if I put okay, the reason it is because we can paper trade all we want with that 500,000 account and
Right.
never lose.
Right.
But when you put $50 or $100 on the line, you're like, oh my goodness, oh man, that's a turkey,
It's at 48.
yeah, right. What do I do? What do I do? And it's like I bought it, and then do I sell now? We're like, that's tuition to the market right there. That's and I know everybody. The big thing is like each one teach one, and I love that we do. But the amount of teaching and explaining that is necessary to really gain a foothold in trading, not just long term investing, but trading how to to be a market. I guess uh, a technician in the market, it can't be an each one teach one. It needs to be like, hey, this plan is for JD Ellaby. You sit down with me, and I'm gonna walk you through it, and you come back with
Mhm.
60 charts the next day that you've marked
Mhm.
up properly, and I'm grading it out. Okay, go back over this weekend and grade me out 60 more. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, Give me 60 bull flags. Give me inverse head, and to where I can spot those things, and that can't be just the random forum group where everybody's just hanging in there having a good time and hey guys, show us what you learned here. That's not
Yeah.
gonna happen, man. It needs
You
to
gotta
direct.
have that support of traders that know that it's not just you know it's not just learning the charts and learning the chart formations, but at some point that emotional part come into it too, and you gotta. That's once again that goes into my morning formula and the mental. Like you had your coach you know subconsciously helping you with that mental, that training to get confident in
Mm-hmm.
seeing your position and knowing your position and taking your position and staying in your position and letting your thesis play out. Like that part of trading, you're right, is no each one teach one for that. It's more of a community that can recognize that that's a part of trading and help you cultivate that. Shameless plug for DCG.
It, then it's that
Word
journey.
up.
It's then we get sent out alone. You got to go out. You have to face. You have to go out. You know how when they do all the training at the Shaolin Temple, then at the end
You
they send
still got
brother
to
out
fight
at the
your own
back
fight,
door.
though.
You got to
Yep.
have your journey, and if you
Yep.
die out there, you die. But a lot of times you'll survive and come back to live another day, and you come back, and during that journey process, we'll learn like what, I can't trade Tesla, but I can trade something with that doesn't move as quickly. I'm more of a swing trader. I'm more of a position trader. I can't day trade. You'll know yourself. Like
Yep.
what I've been calling myself a swing trader all this time. And
We
brother,
had this convo.
I'm a
I'm like, I'm
straight up
glad
day
you.
trader,
I've
dog.
been knew that. I'm glad you finally came to
I'm a
it.
try, but the thing about it, I mark my charts and I do a top down approach. I'll go week, well, I'll go month, week. I quickly go month because I'm trying to get down into the guts in month, week, day. Then I start going 4 hour, 30, and then I start zeroing in on my entries, and that's the game plan, guys. Mo, I'm not gonna stay long, man. What you got on
No,
that?
it's all good. It's great. We can close. I just wanted to close with two things I've been thinking about. I've been preparing for the mastermind report. It's coming for DCG. So I'm in deep research mode this week. And so, I got to give some research gems that could probably help y'all over the next, few weeks, few months. If you, reach out to me and get with the crew, you'll have the gems all through the month. But I just want y'all, to watch out for December. December is a great month, and you hear a lot about the Santa Claus rally, and even I talk about the Santa Claus rally and markets going up, and that's true. There are certain dates for that, so do your research on what those dates should be. Be extra diligent. The first week of December, prices may test you. So, not to say that they will, but historically, the first week of December has been weak. So, be vigilant for that with all of these gains going on in December and everything popping up. And for, a stock pick, it's interesting. I was going through an old report from last year, and this pick came up again. So another little gem I'm looking at going into the month is McCormick, the
Brought that up
seasoning
the other
company.
day,
We
bro.
going into Thanksgiving tomorrow. Got Christmas coming up. That a lot of food and family. Folks gonna need that seasoning. So McCormick.
Is that
That's
Selena in the
MKC.
McCormick? I think
MKC.
MKC. Hey, that was VSLR. Real quick before I go to McCormick for Erica. Uh, it's set up. I mean, I think there's going to be a pullback, but I mean that's a bull flag. It's just hanging out. If it gets above that little area 45.80, 45.55, it might try to push, but it's extended. It's had a run, but there's structure below. There's some support at 35. I mean, even that right below 40. So that's my take on that, man. MKC McCormick.
Yeah, Mo Parks, that one's been a good one for me too, especially around this time of year. So,
Yeah, it's setting up to
we
break that
starting to
trend line,
bottom
man.
out, and we could be seeing it hit that bottom a few times. So, we could see some interesting things for McCormick. I like the weekly. The weekly looks nice.
I'm sorry, man. I'm all daily, bro. I'm okay.
Yeah, I know, but that's why we such a good team is because you look at, man, this is bottoming out nice. We just need that
Break
support to
above that
stay
trend line a
supporting
little bit.
here. So
But
um
throw your email in there, guys. Let me click send mine. Email us if you have questions, ideas. But yeah, what is it? December 9th through 11th that we're doing our options course.
yep,
Okay, and yeah, hey man, I know you say, hey, you should be giving this away free. Nah, man, the option is going to be one. It's as close to one on one as you get, and it takes.
as you can get.
I want. I'd rather that I give you as many YouTube videos as I can, almost 100
It's
hours on
still not
YouTube.
gonna be what.
The one-on-one plan, and you will get in. You'll leave there with from us from those 3-day window.
Hmm.
Uh, we're gonna get you in the market. You're gonna trade.
Yep,
You're gonna be positioned to make money. It's gonna be up to you to make
yep,
the money because we're gonna spot the setups, and you'll begin to spot setups.
yep.
And I really suggest if you're trying to trade the market, because I watch so many people that have spent thousands of dollars to go take a trading course and they never get to talk to the instructors. Is about 100 hours of videos. Email me a question. I'll get back to you if I can. Blah blah blah. But then you get out and you're still buying out of the money calls, front month calls on a stock that's only going to move 35 cents ATR, and it'll never reach that unless something so there's little things that you can have a game plan to where we won't self-sabotage ourselves, and that's what we teach to where you
No
can
blown accounts here.
it's going because that's the market tuition. Market will they'll exact its tuition upon the unworthy or the unsuspecting, and you think you have, because anybody can pick a stock in a bull market. Everybody knows everybody's a winner. You
Yep,
throw your money out there and hit and
yep.
think you have a routine, and it's like flipping a coin. So
That's why I like to research so much because I like to do good when everybody, oh my God, the market is red and my account. Hey, bro, I'm sitting on two or three of them over here that's looking good. What you looking at?
and
So
I'm a put specialist because I think people shy away from puts, and there's opportunity in a part of the market when people like, it's going red. Get in there and sell it. Get in there and
that's
grab a
me. I'm
put.
people.
It's the same chart, same trend, and if people are shying away from it, there's opportunity. That's how I feel. So we're gonna teach you that,
Yeah,
and
everybody got their thing. So
I'm just
I
that's
like
me,
going
man.
long.
But now, I love going
I'm
long.
learning myself. I'm learning
I,
myself,
but
man.
if it's
What I
now
make the
okay,
most money doing, that's what I'm gonna keep doing.
if the overall trend that exactly, man, I'm with that. I'm with that. The overall trend, if I see it reversed and going down, I'm gonna try to make some money on that. But I will not short. I don't short the big boys like Tesla, Apple. I'm not counter trend trading something that can flip up on me and really ruin me. So that I
Yeah.
say that to
So
say that,
mark
but
up McCormick, man, and look for those breaks. Look for those price breaks over the next, couple.
That's a
couple
comfortable one right
weeks.
there, man. I'm thinking
Yeah.
McCormick doesn't won't shake somebody out with a crazy move.
Mm-mm.
MKC, MK.
MKC.
Let me
Yep.
here, guys.
And
One
then
thing.
like if you could look at the trends when it does start to move in the uptrend, it move. It's gonna move for consecutive days. Like it's that kind of stock. So
It's
if it
split
start,
too.
it's gonna
Hey,
go.
y'all got a split coming up. December 1st, McCormick will split two for one split on December 1st.
Okay.
So 2020. Keep an eye on that. You can create a little alert in your thing to keep you. So if you want to get shares and start doing a share building program, that's something that's an idea, you know.
Yep.
But uh, I highly recommend taking our course if you really want to trade options because the money you're gonna win. But if you don't have a plan, a replicable plan, or an edge, it's just a matter of time before you pay tuition. And it's going so I don't know. You might say education is pricey, but ignorance is even pricier. And I'm not saying
And
ignorant like but just the fact of not knowing. So
sometimes I don't like to bring it up, but it's yeah, me too, Larry. I like it on the weekly. It's some folks that don't even realize that they are still paying on hundreds of thousands of dollars of uh student loans, probably on a degree maybe people didn't even get, or one that they're not highly likely not using. There's very few people that's actually in a career that their degree was for. So um
I mean,
you
it's
know
a whole lot of dancing nurses, man.
I
The
mean,
nursing program.
man, I live in Atlanta. Listen, brother, hospital. My pinky toe hurt.
Yeah,
I
man.
need
Hey,
to go to the hospital.
well, I'm just saying, man. It's anyway. It's just can't they can't all just be in a nursing program and still okay. Anyway, look, guys. I'm, I know y'all understand
You
that
ain't been
joke.
to no hospitals in Atlanta, so hey, yeah, they all can be in the nursing
I guess
program, bro.
so, man. I haven't. I'm making that joke, and it's happening in real life. Okay, look, fellas, everybody, thank you guys for coming out. Mo, brother, thank you again. I hope y'all got our
Man,
email addresses. Reach out to us. We're only
yes,
taking.
please do.
Mo says 10. I say 5.
Now man, yeah, I might cut it to 5. We'll
Because
see, man,
I,
because it's the end
I
of the
want them to
year.
come out
We
of that
going
group. I want them to come out of
man
that and make money, and we can zero in on
immediately
them.
so that they can post on Christmas Day what they bought themselves with the money that they
Bam,
made.
because
That's my goal. Cause you gonna do it.
you're gonna figure out a way, and it doesn't have to be
Yep.
$800 you make every day. I'm talking about like $60 to $80 a day on the right move
It's about the consistency, and the consistency comes from the
routine.
process,
The P&L
routines.
is
Yep.
if we do the process right and you trade properly, your P&L will be the results. It doesn't have to. That's what I think. So, hey y'all.
Charlene Northside, that's what's up. I know people that work at Northside. We're gonna have to talk on the call. That's what's up.
Well, man, Charlene, Tony, Jamar, Larry Williams, my wife, my beautiful wife.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Thank y'all.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
thank y'all. Ben, what's up, Ben? Um, what up, Clint Eastwood, Clint Wood, Bill something, Daniel, Erica Jones. Tell Mama we said hi. Gerald, be safe out
Yes.
there. Jaden Kobe, that's a great name. Uh,
Yes.
Kay
Love
Kelly,
it.
thank you, Kadeem, for coming.
Appreciate y'all.
Brother
Thank you
Larry
so
Williams.
much.
Lynn, what's up, Lynn? Miss Marcia, Mo Parks.
Miss
Hey,
Marsha.
that's a researcher. Paige. Hey,
Yeah.
what's up,
Mhm.
Ruby and Tony? Thank y'all.
Thank you so much. We appreciate y'all. Please reach out to us for the course. Please reach out to me if you're interested in joining DCG. The report's coming. We planning a great December. December gonna look good with the T on the end.
Yeah,
So
good.
yeah, we
Okay.
ready.
Well, thank you, brother. Hey,
We
y'all
ready.
have a safe Thanksgiving, man.
Happy
And
Thanksgiving to everybody. And man, I'm planning a tour next year. I'm picking up plates.
go. All
I'm coming
right,
for a
man.
plate from somebody next year.
Well, y'all
I
be
love
cool.
y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for your time. Happy Thanksgiving.